everyone, I'm the Tax Pro, and today I'm going to show you a common mistake that we see in QuickBooks Online that costs taxpayers a lot of money. So very commonly, we will see where clients or their bookkeepers will record a payment and then they will forget to move that payment from undeposited funds into the checking account. And instead, when they see it clear that checking account, they'll record a second payment. Okay, what that does is that doubles your revenue. So if every time you get a payment is recorded, but it's put in this undeposited funds account, and then instead of moving it from undeposited funds into the checking account, you record a second payment or a sales receipt, you're recording that you've received double the amount of money, okay? Which will obviously increase your bottom line, which increases your taxes. Okay, so this is a problem that we see not just with business owners doing their books, but also with bookkeepers. I'm going to show you how to identify it, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay, so what QuickBooks has is it has this undeposited funds account. And this undeposited funds account is what we call a clearing account. And a clearing account lives on your books, and it is where you put payments that have not yet hit your bank account. So for example, I have a client and they've sent me a check. So I open this check up, it's $3,000. And I say, okay, I'm gonna go into QuickBooks Online, I'm gonna record that I have received this check. And QuickBooks says, okay, great, you've received this check. We're gonna record this receipt and we are going to put it into undeposited funds because you have not deposited it yet. I say, okay, I'm gonna go take a picture, deposit it. And then when it shows up on my bank feed, I am going to move it from undeposited funds into the checking account. Okay? That's the appropriate workflow there. So you record, or your system records an invoice payment or a sales receipt, depending on, if there's an open invoice or not. So the system records it or you record it. You put it into undeposited funds, and then you move it from undeposited funds into the checking account when it clears the bank. That's the appropriate way to do that. That's the appropriate workflow. However, what we commonly see is, especially when you have payment systems connected to QuickBooks Online, because you're not necessarily physically recording that payment, what we commonly see is the payment's been recorded, it's sitting in undeposited funds, and then it goes through the bank account, and we create either a sales receipt or we apply it to the invoice because for some reason, maybe something wasn't applied properly, something along those lines. And now you have two payments or two sales receipts or a payment and a sales receipt sitting in your QuickBooks, and you've double counted your revenue. When you go to file your taxes, you are going to overpay. Okay, this is a costly mistake. I have seen this cost taxpayers 5 and 6 figures. This can be a costly mistake. Okay, how do we catch it? What does it look like? How do we fix it? This is the home screen when you log into QuickBooks Online. Let's head into Reports, Standard Reports, and we're going to pull up our balance sheet. So the undeposited funds is a balance sheet account. It's an asset. I am going to show you as if I am closing for 2025, so tax year 2025. We're going to go to last year and pull this up. You'll see here under other current assets, there's an undeposited funds account. Okay, so it is saying there's undeposited funds of a little over $20,000. And just because you have a balance in undeposited funds does not mean your books are incorrect. Okay, the purpose of undeposited funds is to be a clearing account, and you can have other clearing accounts too. So we always set up clearing accounts for like Stripe or Square payments, that kind of stuff. We set up these clearing accounts because we have payments that come in and then they hit the bank account at a later date, right? So undeposited funds might not be your only clearing account. And it's okay to have a balance in a clearing account as long as that balance clears. Okay? So that balance should clear. in, the next day or two or the next banking day or whatever your deposit schedule is for your payment processor. We can go in and we can look at undeposited funds and see what's in here, but I think that this view is a little bit confusing for a lot of people. Doesn't necessarily give you kind of a full idea of what's going on. So I can see here, I see this beginning balance coming over, and then I see some of these payments, but these should have cleared, right? These are a long time ago. So my favorite way to kind of address this, if I know that there's a balance here, my favorite way to do this is to go to the plus create button over here on the left-hand side and go to bank deposit. And I want to see what QuickBooks is saying that we need to deposit. So right here we have 2023 payments, so that's a little painful. And then we have these 2024 2025 payments. And we need to figure out why these are sitting here and why they never hit the bank. So there's a couple of things that could have happened. One, we double recorded a payment. Or two, we recorded the payment, but then for some reason we never got it, or maybe the bank rejected it, or something along those lines. So it might not be that we double recorded it, it just might be that the bank didn't accept the check. So let's kind of take a look at Alfred Green. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So I'm going to go up, I'm going to search for Alfred. I'm going to go to his customer section. And that payment was in September. So right here, I can see this sales receipt, I see a deposit, and then I see another sales receipt. So right here, we double recorded this, okay? This right here is the deposit. It was deposited, so this sales receipt was deposited, and we recorded it as being deposited on the 11th. Unfortunately, we also recorded a sales receipt on the 12th, but we never actually got this. Okay, so how we clean this up is we're just going to go ahead and we are going to delete this sales receipt. Now when we go back to this bank deposit area, you'll notice Alfred's no longer on here. So we took care of Alfred's balance. So essentially, if I'm going to clean this up, I am going to go through each of these deposits and I'm going to figure out, was this a double payment? Was this something to where we recorded a receipt and then we didn't get it? Or maybe they paid a different way. So for example, maybe we recorded that we received a check, but in all reality, it was a batch kind of deposit from a payment processor and it kind of got mixed up in there, okay? Or maybe we got cash, okay? And we just recorded it as a check and it says incorrect. It's ideal to do this monthly. In all reality, it's ideal to do it monthly or throughout the month as you're making those deposits, but we're gonna do this yearly. Now, what happens if you have double recorded amounts from prior years? So right here, we have a bunch of payments from 2023 that haven't cleared. That tells me that we've got an issue in a prior tax year. What are our options? What do we do? Well, we used our numbers from QuickBooks. We've overpaid in 2023. We didn't catch it in time. We overpaid on taxes. You have a couple options here. You can amend your tax return, and there's pros and cons to that, okay? So you can amend your tax return. When you do that, one, there is a statute. So you can't just go amend, a tax return that you filed 10 years ago. The statute for requesting a refund is passed, okay? So there's statutes, there's time limits for requesting a refund, but also, one, there's going to be a cost associated with that, right? And so especially if you're using an accountant, you got to pay us in order to amend that tax return, and that cost just might not be worth it. Okay, so it just might be something, unfortunately, that you eat. And two, it opens up your audit window. Okay, so if that audit window has closed and you file an amendment, you open up that audit window or you extend that audit window. So that's also a downside. Okay, on the plus side, if you're still within the statute of being able to get that refund, you might get a lot of money back. So if you have these items in 2023, you may need to go and fix that. Now, let's say I don't want to fix it. Okay, so let's say I'm just going to say, you know what, it happened, it is what it is, I'm kind of done with it, whatever. How do we fix that? Okay, we need to move these deposits out of undeposited funds. We are going to do a prior period correction. The easiest way to do this is to do an adjustment, okay? And in my opinion, the easiest way to do this in QuickBooks Online, you could go in and you could delete these sales receipts. The issue with that is then this amount isn't going to be it's not going to match. Not necessarily correct. It will be correct, but it won't match your tax return, which is important if you have, an S corporation or a C corporation or a partnership and you need to keep track of your balance sheet. So the very correct thing to do, 100%, would be redo your return, get these out of the system. That's not reality for a lot of us, right? So what we can do is we can adjust these payments. So I'm going to check all of these. The total is $4,592.50. So that's what we have overpaid in taxes. We can take this to your retained earnings account or your equity account. So we go into equity. Right here, these are your equity accounts. We do have a retained earnings account. If you are a partnership or if you are a sole proprietorship, your equity accounts might look a little bit different. So you would adjust this into the account that you close your profit into. Okay, so this is a prior period adjustment. This is a legitimate thing that you are technically allowed to do. And we're going to take this into retained earnings. The date on which we are going to do this is going to be dependent on, when we determine when the error is, when we determine and we identify that error, and also if we're reporting these balance sheets on our tax returns. Because our balance sheets need to flow from year to year. So we don't want to adjust our balance sheets in prior years. We would make that prior period adjustment in the period in which we found it, or like the period with which we're closing. Okay, so I'm going to make it on 1/1/2025. I'm going to take this into the retained earnings. Notice that the deposit is $0 total. So I'm going to have a $0 deposit into checking. It will not change my bank account amount, okay? The reason we use retained earnings, this is an accounting concept, I'm not going to go super deep into it, but the whole reason that we use retained earnings is because that initial profit, that profit or loss gets closed into retained earnings. It's part of your closing process that QuickBooks Online does automatically for us, for the most part. So this is part of the closing process. That additional revenue was put into retained earnings. Now we're pulling it out of retained earnings and we're correcting it. Okay? So retained earnings is actually going to be correct now. So this is a prior period adjustment. Tax consequences for making prior period adjustments. It depends on how you file your taxes. You should talk this over with your accountant just because there are some potential repercussions or reporting that you would need to do. So we're going to go ahead and get those deposits out of undeposited funds. Okay, get those amounts, those payments. And now you'll notice that when we go to bank deposit, 2023 is gone. Okay, so we've taken care of that. We've just kind of decided we're going to eat it. There's no penalty for overpaying on taxes. It's just, not ideal. And now we're going to move into cleaning up 2025. So with 2025 now, we would go into each of those customers and we would figure out what these payments or sales receipts, what they're doing. Did we double record them? And then we would clean it up the same way that we cleaned up Alfred so that we can get ready to properly file 2025. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. I know that's a little bit complicated on how you correct like those prior periods. So if you have any questions, let me know. If it was helpful, please consider giving a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.